Dude, come on, dude. We're doing a show.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, loser.
My
We're
bad.
doing a show.
My
Come
bad.
on, baby.
I'll get it together.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pregame show. Bring the energy, bring the noise. Denver Nuggets in-season tournament night. You turn on these basketball games right now, and there are some doozies going on right now. The courts are bright. The lights even brighter. It must be the in-season tournament. Nuggets hosting the Clippers tonight. Clippers on a little bit of a skid. Our old friend Bones Hyland is in town. It's some controversy. I didn't even know there was controversy until I just answered something honestly, and then everybody's like, "Is this controversial?" We'll talk about that.
Apparently, our
Bones.
title's controversial. Clickbait. We are sellouts like that.
I think it's hilarious that people find this to be like. To me, it's not a controversial story at all, but people found it to be controversial. So, what do I know? We're also going to talk about who is the biggest threat in Group B. Group B, wide open right now for the taking. Who's the biggest threat? To help me go through all of those things and more, I brought in Brendan Vogt.
What's up, fellas? Extra jazz for some basketball tonight. I couldn't figure out what it was, what was in the air, and then it hit me. Yeah, it's not just regular season basketball. It's the in-season tournament.
That's what it is.
And it sounds like I'm joking because I half am, but I also am half extra stoked for these games. We talked about it in a round table today. I'm in on the tournament. It's working for old B-Rad.
Can I tell you, I got a little inside story here. When I read your answers, I read them as tournament.
Tournament because I say it
Because
like
that's how you say it. So when
I
I
like
read,
that.
like when Harrison writes, I read it as tournament. But when I
Right.
get to your part, I'm like tournament.
Did you have any other takeaways from my answer?
Nope,
Is
that was
all right,
it.
cool. Well written on my part. Yep.
That's how it was. Over there, Superstar Dev.
In-season tournament, I like the courts. I truly do like the courts. I like the in-season tournament. I'm ready for some Nuggets basketball. Let's do this.
Look at that, Dev. I didn't even look at you. I don't think till just now. Like we've been talking here, but I haven't made eye contact. Look at the heat on this feet over here.
Yeah.
You like those?
Look at that, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
Cool.
these are from like the Carmelo days.
Oh.
Those are old. You've been sitting on them for a long time.
Yeah, I haven't been sitting on them, but I've had them for a long time. I've had them for a long time.
I see Dev all the time, and I've never seen him, but maybe he's had him for a while. The Clippers are in town. They're on a skid, but the Nuggets also on a bit of a skid here. So this is kind of a battle between two losers. Vote. What do you got for us?
Yeah, it's the two losers, the 9-2 defending champion Denver Nuggets. Any chance we get to call them losers? Let's do it. For the Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray and Vlatko Čančar are out tonight, which we already knew. For the Los Angeles Clippers, Mason Plumlee is out with an MCL sprain. That is relevant. Also, shout out to an old friend. And then Brandon Boston Jr. is also out. He's dealing with a long-term complication that I forgot to write down.
That guy used to kind of be a Nuggets killer a little bit. Sneaky Nuggets killer.
Michael Malone spent a good amount of pregame talking about his second unit. First, we'll talk about his message to the second unit. And he says he thinks that they've been playing too tentative. And then he's spoken to each member of the bench since the loss in Houston. The message, be aggressive. He mentioned Christian Brown's only averaging 1 rebound over his last 3 games. That can't happen, Malone said. And then a slightly more pointed message. Michael Malone on potentially changing the second unit. He said, who can we change it to?
Bro, that's rough, man. That is rough.
That's the one we can, I think, sit on and unpack together, fellas.
Let's
Who
unpack, can we unpack it real quick before we get to the rest of the game notes? What's Justin Holiday think of that one?
I was thinking about that as well.
Remember Justin Holiday came and said, Malone told me, he didn't tell me I was going to play. He said, if I deserved to play, I'd play. You take that quote, and then you take, who am I going to change it to?
It's I do not deserve to play.
That's a wild and uncharacteristic type of answer for him, because he's a guy that always makes people chase the carrot. His whole thing is if you work hard, you're going to be able to play. That's been Malone's MO his entire career. So for him to just all of a sudden just switch, there's more to it. Or there's just a lot that we're not saying, but that's not a Malone answer. So there's something to unpack there.
It's aggressive, and I think there are both veterans and youngsters there who are that's maybe a guy like Justin Holiday is used to hearing versions of this through the media, about how much he's going to play or not. He's a journeyman, but that's quite the message to a guy like Jalen Pickett, who might be first in line as well. When you're thinking about who would they change it to, you could throw his name in the ring there.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but it's clear that Malone wants this group to work. You know, his first adjustment is always play harder and play better.
I mean, honestly, fair.
That was the thing I was talking about with Christian on a recent show is the unit doesn't have to be playing well for him to go and get some breathtaking rebounds like he did to start the year. There are ways you can go and help yourself. So there is a layer of that to this as well, but that's clearly where Malone's head's at. It
also, like, all right, we don't want to start nothing, but I'm saying, like, you have Colin, you have Pickett. In the whole preseason, those guys shared minutes. I don't think there was like a clue. I was surprised when Colin was the guy. So for him to say, who else am I going to go to? It implies that there is a giant gap between those two guys. I mean, to me, unless I'm hearing it different than you guys.
Yeah, I really think that, like, his whole thing typically is like, I really like what I'm seeing from that second unit. There's like some message. Positives that you, if that's the message that you want to go with, that's what Malone would have went with. For him to just go against everything that he says often of like, hey, I want guys to work for this, and then you could earn some more minutes. It's just different. It's a lot of different tone. There's no motivation there because, like, usually he motivates guys. He knows how to get the youngins going and get their juices running. And then also like a guy like Justin Holiday, who is new to the team, who was in the preseason, stuff, and maybe they might need him down the road. I just felt like it just seems personal in a way.
It also, a little insight into his interpretation of the roster. Like, there are no quick and easy fixes.
I think he's right about that, by the way.
And that what's the point of this time of the regular season for the second unit if not to get these guys right? Because that's the realized version you want to see at the end of the tunnel or whatever. So there's something to that of like, look, these are the guys we have. At some point we need to make it work with these guys. And layer one of that is them helping themselves and pulling themselves out of it. So
it does seem like a rare misquote from Malone because that one just feels a little bit pointed and people will read into it, I think, a little bit more. But at the end of the day, this is my official position. I don't like this specific choice that Malone has gone with. I think Malone, by the way, playing Julian Strawther all year, playing the guy, Christian Brown, and playing everybody that he's been playing, Peyton Watson, I actually love what Malone has done all year, minus one thing. So to me, and if the shoes were on the other foot and we were... let's not forget, they're 2-1, right, with this configuration. It's not like the sky's falling. They've only lost one game, and they barely lost it, and it was on the road to a good team. So, to me, I do think there is something. I wish Malone's message would have been, you got to give guys a chance. You know, like, you got to give them a long chance. Like, we give him Colin, he had one bad game now. Like, let's see if he could bounce back. Like, to me, those are the types of message I would like instead of everyone else sucks worse, but whatever. All right.
Malone can't turn Malone off, though.
He can.
You know what I mean?
He can.
And then for the starters, if you haven't heard, this is how the Clippers are rolling these days. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Zubats.
Man, that's an all-star team. Those guys are all on the same team?
All on the same team. That's right, Adam.
That's a starting lineup for, like, the All-Star game?
Nope, that's the starting lineup for the Los Angeles Clippers on November 14, 2023. I forgot to mention
How did they rebound? That's a tiny team. There's a lot of guards.
They used to have Mason Plumlee. Low-key, huge loss.
Huge.
Not to get him.
Well, that shouldn't be a problem as they face Jokic tonight. Nugget starters, Reggie, KCP, MPJ, AG, Jokic. Clippers are obviously reeling coming into this game. This has been a psychological edge, if not penciled in get-right game for the Nuggets over the years. Will it be again tonight? We're catching something live here.
Tyrese Halliburton is the coldest dude in the league. He's one of my favorite dudes. I love Tyrese. He just hit a cold dagger. I don't know if it's quite a dagger, but it's certainly a near dagger on the 76ers. By the way, this is what I love about the in-season tournament. Tonight, all these games have a lot of meaning. Like, that's for two undefeated teams in their group.
Right.
So, like, that could be the team that gets to go to the in-season tournament. So that's kind of fun. I'm going to tell you right now, two notes. 22nd in pace. They play slow. Denver, I think 27, something like that. This is going to be another slow-paced game. And then on top of that, Michael Malone challenged Christian Brown to rebound. This is a team where I think rebounds are available. Whenever Malone tells a guy, go rebound, that's his way of saying, you want to be on my good side, you only have to do one thing. I'm taking Christian Brown rebounds tonight. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I want to look at that number later on, Dev. Put a pin in that. Guys, one of the questions tonight The Nuggets, whenever a player comes to town that has left the roster, usually they get the championship ring. We know Bruce is coming in a couple months. When he's here, they'll do a ceremony. They'll get a ring. Davon Reed not in the NBA anymore, so I don't know if that ceremony is going to be.
That's a good point.
But Bones Hyland, went to the Clippers last year as part of that midseason trade, and it was reported tonight that he will not be receiving a ring. The Nuggets get to decide whether or not they will or won't. I was shocked that anybody thought he would get a ring. I was shocked by this. Now, just to put precedent here, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Who was it that they were saying? Jonas Valanciunas, right? Gets traded, does not get a ring with the Raptors. Torrey Craig gets traded from Milwaukee to Phoenix. That one would have definitely been weird if he would have lost the finals and gotten a ring. Yeah. So it's like sometimes this is the case. But here's the reason that this is not, why this is a non-issue. Bones asked to be traded. This wasn't like this was a tough one. Sorry, there's hugs on the way out or whatever. This was like Bones. The time ended. They split their different ways, both because they both wanted it. And people have, here's the thing, man. I love Bones. Bones was good to us personally. It was DNVR. He never did anything. He was never rude to me or inappropriate to me or anything like that. I have nothing against him. He was fun to root for. I wish it worked out. There's nothing to me, I have no animosity towards Bones as a person or as a player. I root against him because he's on the Clippers and the Clippers are a rival to Denver, but I don't root against him personally. Sure. I hope, if I could write Bones' history, I hope he gets traded to the Indiana Pacers and becomes a part of their team because they're fun to watch. And that would be good for him. And it's in the Eastern Conference. So I have no ill will towards him. But to me, am I crazy, Devin, thinking it's insane to think Bones would get a championship ring?
Yeah, and also, if you think that he shouldn't get a ring, it's not to say that you don't like Bones or you don't appreciate what he brought to Denver or anything like that. It was a rocky ending. But again, like you said, he wanted out of Denver. So it just it worked out that way. You can still root for him. You can still like him. He's also on the Clippers. That changes things. And then also, he was not part of the team that won it all. He was a part of the team, that started the year. But the team that they were in the playoffs, he was not part of that. That also altered, everything moving forward. So right. I don't think that he should get the ring. Not to say he doesn't deserve a ring because he was part of the team, altogether.
And he was a big part of the year when Murray was out. He was a huge part of that team.
That would have been huge. That would have been a lot different, I feel because he was a part of that team. But it was the way that it went down, how everything went down. I don't even think he should want the ring. That's the part that everyone
Of course he doesn't. This is the other part of it. There's no way Bones Hyland would want a championship ring from the Nuggets. This is the funniest part of and then people saying oh, what a controversial headline. I'm what's the controversy, you guys?
I agree with Dev on that last part. I probably would want nothing to do with that ring. I would feel great shame, maybe, if not regret looking at that ring.
Or at least at the very least, weird.
Right. Now, am I just projecting onto another person I don't know very well? Sure. Yeah, of course. But you know what? I'm also a podcaster, so what's a guy to do, besides project?
To me, this was not at all a controversial thing, and I was kind of surprised today at my timeline when I put out, because somebody asked me, was he getting a ring? And I had heard the answer was no, and I put no. And then everyone's like, are you kidding me? And I was like, this is wild, man. This is really wild. By the way, Torrey Craig, I think, I don't remember if he was offered the ring or not, but I know that he had publicly said, I don't want a ring. That's weird.
Right.
I lost in the finals. I don't get a ring for that. So anyway, but as far as Bones goes, he's back in town. I saw him earlier dapping up some coaches and this or that. I don't know that the Bones fallout. There are players that have a falling out where they are no longer dapping up when they come to town. We've seen these. Especially, we've seen high-profile ones. Even Kobe and Shaq. Do you remember Kobe and Shaq matching up on Christmas Day or whatever? And the dap-up was very cold, and it was a big controversial thing. We've seen that before. I don't think it's that with Bones. I think these guys are happy they split. I don't know if they're fast friends and sending each other postcards, but I don't think that they're, in the hallway glaring at each other.
Yeah, I mean, he chose something and they gave him what he wanted. He wanted out. He wanted a new opportunity.
Right.
They gave him what he wanted. It just didn't work out. And that's what happens in life, in relationships, and friendship, in every way. So it is great that they still see each other and they still have that type of relationship with each other. It's hey, I remember those good times. Bones was a vibe, a big part of bringing the vibes back to Denver. He got the crowd back into it. They started winning, not because of him, but he was like very open to it all. So like there's a lot of people that truly do still love Bones, and I'm sure his teammates who know him personally love him as well. But yeah, like every relationship doesn't go how you want it.
And the funny thing about professional sports is the age range of people working together towards a common goal. And obviously in this case, Bones being particularly young. And so, yeah, there was no room for him on that team in that year. But, I'm sure a lot of people's perspective on Bones was that he is young, right? And like whatever did or didn't work out here, he'll grow into himself and figure it all out. It doesn't have to be, bad blood. One more game note. This one's a bit retroactive. Joey Lynn, who covers the Clippers for SI Now, tweeted this 2 days ago. We've touched on it before. But if you haven't heard, Ty Lue said that with the, James Harden now as part of the team, Bones Hyland will likely remain out of the rotation going forward while they take a longer look at this rotation. Lue added, it's unfortunate because Bones have been playing well, but they wanted to stay away from that extra small bench group.
Is it hilarious that James Harden is there Colin Gillespie? we got to give him time, you guys. We got to see if he's got it. Like, it's pretty hilarious. Moving on, guys, it is the in-season tournament today. And with that, we have ourselves kind of an important game here. As it currently sits, the Clippers are 0-1 in tournament play. The Pelicans are 0-1, although they're about to be 1-1. They're 20 points up on the Dallas Mavericks, you guys. That's wild.
Yeah.
The Mavericks are 1-1, about to be 1-2. So the Mavs are about to eliminate themselves from winning this, all but eliminate themselves. Houston Rockets are 1-0. The Nuggets are 1-0. So the Nuggets control their own destiny, obviously, in this tournament. But I just wondered what you guys thought. Who is the biggest, or who are the biggest threats in this tournament?
What are the Clippers right now?
0-1. So if they beat Denver, they'll both be 1-1.
Yeah. This is a great opportunity for Denver to play spoiler and just eliminate them.
Yeah.
With the teams that still remain, and it will be the Mavericks, but they also put themselves. They shoot themselves in the foot.
They're gonna have two losses. Is like you're eliminated.
This really does open up the door for Denver to just kind of run the table and get who they want. Houston, that'd be a great spot to try to. Not even a revenge factor because it was just a game.
It was just regular.
I think that the Rockets, that's a team that you have to look out for, and it's also just fun to just feel like the Rockets have something over a team that you can try to go after. So I would say the Rockets right now.
Yeah, that's the sort of funny thing about how this works. If Denver takes care of business the way they typically do against the Clippers, that door is wide open for Houston, which is an early sign of success for this tournament. This is a great team as far as examples go. I think the average person goes, oh man, Denver lost to Houston. Like, I know that in my head, Houston's been terrible for 3 to 4 years. Now, they are still not contenders or anywhere close, but they're a considerably different team than they were a year ago.
Yeah.
Does the casual fan know that? Well, they might catch up when they see Houston makes a deepish run in the in-season tournament. This is fun. We get to talk about a team like that, their play style, their young stars. I think they have a real shot, especially with Dallas dropping the ball here tonight.
So I love this because you're right. The Clippers, I think for the Clippers tonight is not an in-season tournament game. It's just to stop the bleeding game.
They got bigger fish to fry.
In that way. But for Denver, it very much is, because if you get that, you set yourself up. Then you have the Pelicans on Friday, which is obviously a big one. But you set yourself up to where if you win tonight, really it's going to come down to that Houston game. You can just kind of make that. And I love it that they don't play Houston till last. They play Houston on the last game, so it sets it up for kind of a good showdown. It's also a home game, So I look at this, and if I were handicapping it, I would say the Houston Rockets are number 1. Oh, by the way, James Harden wants to go to Vegas.
Oh, that's a good point.
James Harden, you get to go to Vegas and get $500,000 if you would. Can you imagine
What if he turns
Harden?
into Michael Jordan tonight?
He might turn into Michael Jordan.
He's going to go hard.
He's like mid-season Vegas.
Tell me what this means.
Vegas, man, I'll go to Vegas. They pay for me to go to Vegas. I'm going to handicap and say Houston Rockets number 1. I'm going to say New Orleans Pelicans number 2, Clippers 3, and can you believe it? Dallas Mavericks, the one team. I mean, Denver already beat them, and they have 2 losses. That's kind of a surprise to me, man. I'm very surprised. All right, let's move.
Sorry,
Wait,
I'm not.
Dallas?
Watching Dallas deflate is going to be fun.
You're really not buying Dallas?
No.
Oh, they're on their way.
No, you know what it is about Dallas? Here's the thing about Dallas. Dallas, they are the Houston Rockets of back in the day in that they are wholly dependent on three-point shooting, and they're really good at it. But every now and then they're going to be really bad at it, and they're going to lose by 20 every time that they don't make their threes. They don't have a counterpunch outside of getting and making wide-open threes. If we go around, though, real quick, Minnesota 1-0, Sacramento 1-0. They have Minnesota and Golden State all 1-0 right now in their pool, and they play each other tonight. Steph Curry's out. Kind of a big deal. Steph Curry missing a tournament game, and it's against the 1-0 team. So Minnesota.
Well, luckily the Warriors have so much offense outside of Steph Curry.
Can I tell you guys, I'm buying the Kings and the Timberwolves. I like both of those teams.
So do I.
Those could be two teams that come out of Group C, or one of those two teams does. Right now, the Blazers, Lakers, and Group A? What happened to Group A, man? This is the crummiest little group. Phoenix Suns in there, stuck in there somehow. Celtics look like they're going to win their group. Charlotte Hornets, Milwaukee Bucks, Miami Heat up in their group. And then the 76ers Pacers. I love it, man. We just had the Pacers the other day give up 50 to Tyrese Maxey. They just played 2 days ago, right?
Ooh.
Tyrese Maxey, but it was a non-tournament game. 76ers get the big win. Tonight, tournament game, Pacers get the win.
It mattered. They said it matters now. We're going to play a little bit harder when it matters.
I love it. What did Embiid have tonight? Do you know? Do we have it off the top?
He had 17 free throws, so I know
He had 40 points?
He had something close to that.
He had
He's
40.
going crazy.
Man, you know what? When he has a bunch of points, they lose. When Maxey has a bunch of points, they win. That's an interesting
Maybe
one.
it's that simple, Adam.
I'm just saying it's definitely not, but I'm going to pretend
He had
it
39 and 12.
is. Oh, it's a -9. Yeah, I see
Jesus.
that. That's
He's
really
been-
good.
He's been a monster, though.
Yeah, he
Yeah, well,
really
anyway,
is.
they lost. So.
Anyway, they lost. So there you go. The Pacers, man. We might see Bruce. Might see him out in Vegas. A little matchup. All right. Everybody open up the Bet365. Bet365, never ordinary app. Let's gamble on this game. Dev, you know my bet. Just let me know when you get to it.
All right,
it's hitting.
all right. It is going to hit. It is going to hit. So Denver comes into this game as 4.5-point favorites. I'm shocked that it's this close because
Doesn't it make you uncomfortable?
it is. It's a little wild because I really do think that they're thinking of it as something has to turn around for the Clippers sometime soon. And then they really do feel like Denver's reeling off of that one loss. You know, like
Their bench did have 8 points.
that'll shock you.
Yeah.
Do you think they play that poorly again? No. So I like Denver in this one at -4.5. I like it. I don't see what they see in this Clippers team. Everyone keeps on making it seem like that's a good team. I don't think so. The under of 225 is the play in this game. Two very slow-paced teams. We
At
just
home?
saw it with another slow pace. I just don't see it happening.
Okay.
Also, you get slow pace in Denver. The other team doesn't want to run either. There's just not, I don't think that hits. So I think that it's going to be Clippers ISO. That's the only play that they have. I think this game starts slow, so I'm going to go with the under 109 in the first half.
Okay.
So it's just the mid on that. For the Clippers, they have so many guys they're trying to keep happy, but there's one problem. There's only one basketball.
Yeah.
You can't keep everybody happy with that one basketball.
Good point.
Give me the unders in this game for a few of their players. I'll take the under on Paul George points at 21.5. It's the KCP effect. I just don't think that that's what they'll go with. Also, I think teams are going to try to get back to trying to ISO Michael Porter Jr. This would be a game that him and Kawhi get to
you
face
don't
off.
ISO Michael Porter, man. You pick and roll him, but they're going to try to ISO.
They'll
You're
try
right.
it.
You're right.
They'll try it. So it goes away from Paul George. It goes into Kawhi's hands and that type of one. Just because I know the basketball guys are going to try to piss me off tonight, I'm going to take the over points, rebounds, and assists for James Harden.
What?
Yeah, 26.5.
Dude, this sounds crazier than my Christian Brown bet.
26.5. I think that it
My
hits.
Christian Brown threes bet.
They just feel like he has to get it going at some point. That's too low for him.
Sure.
26.5 is just it's super low. That's not even a good game for him. I think he has a bad game, and he's able to get 26.5.
All right, I'm not touching that. I don't. My phone will burn my hand if I bet on James Harden points.
And you need your
rebounds, and
phone.
assists.
So now on to Denver side of things.
Thank God.
Let's save that phone. Let me get the bad news out of the way very early. I'm going under on Aaron Gordon, points, rebounds, and assists. I just don't like how he plays against the top names offensively. I just feel like in his head, he just wants to be defenders. He's going to try to lock up
All right.
In those regards. So I think that
under on points.
yeah, I just don't think that he's going to get involved with the points. Like trying to score is really where I see the struggle coming. He's been really good on rebounds. He's been good as a playmaker, but it's the points that I really don't like. So I'm going to go under on that. I will take the over on rebounds. It's at 7.5. He's been hitting that a lot. And they have it at plus money. So for him to get 8 rebounds in the game. Or you could just do it like where you get 7 at the alternative.
Which player is this?
Aaron Gordon.
All right.
Give me the over on KCP threes.
Oh, okay.
I can't believe he only got 2 threes up last game.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot of threes up.
That was crazy.
They have
2 of
1.5, right? Yeah.
Yep, so I think he's going to hit 2.
All right, I'll take that bet.
He has to
That's
be
fun.
more aggressive. Just has to be
That's
in
a
this
fun
game.
one. I love that one.
This is the anti-revenge game for Reggie Jackson.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a revenge game because he went to a better situation and won
That's
a
true,
championship.
yeah.
But it's like more of a hey, look at me.
flex. A
Like a
flex
look
on
at
your
me.
ex.
Like
It's a
we're good
flex
over
on
here.
your
And I'm
ex. I like
starting.
it.
I'm starting over here. You
Yeah.
guys want those guys to
Yeah.
be over me? Look at this.
James
So,
Harden? Yeah, that's cool.
Have you seen
so
my new
points,
girl?
rebounds, and assists is at 18.5. I think that he
Dude, this
gets
is
involved.
Man, I don't even know I think he does, but I'm betting on it anyway.
Yeah, great narrative.
Yeah,
bet. You
just
convinced
such a
me.
good
Yeah,
one,
you
dude.
got the narrative.
Betting
And then
with my
for
heart
the lock
here.
of the game,
We're
very
already on
easy.
lock?
The guy that gets you paid the most, Nikola Jokic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm taking the over on rebounds plus points
That's a lot
at
of people
44.5. I just looked at it. The rebounds, I'm about to put more on the rebounds now. They have nobody to grab rebounds for the Clippers. That's a small unit.
And Plumlee's out with the backups.
He's going to score when he wants to. He's going to be able to grab every single board. They miss a lot. You have Russell Westbrook air balls. You have James Harden air balls. You have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard ISOs. Jokic is going to be able to get the rebounds. He also is going to be able to score when he wants to. I like that points plus rebounds.
I'm going to go with, man, Christian Brown rebounds is at 2.5. Isn't there an alternate rebound, player milestone rebound? So I get Christian Brown. Okay. 5 rebounds for Christian Brown at plus 285. Malone challenged him. It's at home.
5 rebounds is very reasonable for him if he's putting his mind to it.
If you put, I'm taking it, man. I'm taking
That's
it.
a fun
Also, he also knows that, like, he has to be better. That second unit, I know that they know that they have to be more aggressive. They have to try to score more. They have to try to put shots up. He's going to have some opportunities. And also, the second unit for the Clippers are not that good. That is a good bet for Christian Brown.
Man, they don't have Peyton Watson steals and blocks, which is a bummer. What
Do
about,
they have points, rebounds, and assists for Christian Brown?
They probably do. Points, rebounds, and assists.
I would
Christian
get in on that one.
Yes, 10.5.
Ooh, that's
Get
a
that
nice,
in there.
I
that's
can't
a nice
believe
bet.
I'm going heavy to Browntown
Get
today.
that
man.
in there.
I've got 3 bets
Head on
Christian
down to
Brown.
Browntown.
I'm headed down
Hey,
to Brown. I'm deep
they're
in
back
Browntown.
at home, in-season tournament. Harrison's in the building. We know Christian's about to go up
that's
to-
true. Harrison being there is a big deal.
Yep.
What about Yoke triple-double?
Duh.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Duh.
You know what? We'll throw that,
That
one in
man
there
is
too,
on a
just for
mission
good
right
measure.
now, man. On a mission. Now they get a couple of wins.
You know, can I tell you my theory, man? Yoke going up against his Balkan brothers. He's just been killing him. Remember what he did to Vooch?
I know, man.
I kind of feel like a couple years ago, Yoke take it easy on this game. Tonight, I think he goes out. He goes hard. All right, that does it for our show today, guys. We hope you enjoyed the pregame show. Hope you bet it along with us.
Let's watch the
Bet
Nuggets.
365 Never Ordinary. We're going to go watch the Denver Nuggets on TNT. We'll see you guys after the game.
We all silly like the mayor.